Alright, let's break down Summer Game Fest 2025. And we're starting with the first stretch of the show, which actually hit harder than I expected.
I can't stand the wailing of women.
So Jeff Keighley kicked things off with what looked like an intense new reveal, a totally fresh IP that honestly caught me off guard. No title splash at first, just raw gameplay, dark, gritty, and completely chaotic. It looked like a love child of Dark Souls and a third-person sci-fi shooter. Fast dodges, chunky guns, glowing monsters. I was just sitting there like, wait, what the hell am I even watching right now? And I loved it. Legit had the energy of The Surge meets Remnant, with a bit of that Returnal-style movement too. If this is some kind of new AA banger, sign me up. Then came the first actual known reveal, Mortal Shell 2. Yeah, that one made total sense. It's been a long time coming, and it looks like they're leaning even harder into the punishing combat and bleak atmosphere. Still, very much that slow, heavy, Souls-like DNA, but more refined, more intense, and the trailer was brutal in the best way. My reaction? Oh, of course, Mortal Shell 2, not shocked, but definitely curious.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It looks exactly like what fans of the first game would want. Next up, we got a Fortnite crossover, this time with Star Wars. And look, I get it. Fortnite's the king of collab, but for me, nah. The lightsaber hype wore off like 5 events ago. I barely blinked. I know there's a big fan base for that, but personally, that was my cue to zone out for a minute. But the show pulled me right back in with a game that had me shouting, Death Stranding 2. Now, Kojima didn't come out with a huge story breakdown or anything. Instead, we got a short cinematic scene, just a quiet moment between Neil and Lucy, 2 characters we've seen teased before. But even with that limited footage, it was clear the acting is next level, like weirdly too good for a video game. Norman Reedus, Léa Seydoux, this cast is stacked. Visually though, I've gotta say, and don't hate me for this, it doesn't look that much different from Death Stranding 1. The lighting is better, the environments feel denser, but it's not some revolutionary generational leap. It's still running on Decima, and you can tell. That said, the vibes are off the charts. It's surreal, dreamlike, cryptic, pure Kojima madness. There's that weird mix of beauty and discomfort in every frame. It's kind of hypnotizing it. And here's the thing, I might actually buy this one. Like for real. I never finished the first one, still stuck halfway through all the hiking and package drops, but DS2 just feels more cinematic, more focused. Maybe I just needed a second chance to appreciate Kojima's whole vision. So yeah, in just the first 15 minutes, the show already threw me a curveball with a wild new Souls-style shooter, gave me a brutal sequel in Mortal Shell 2, made me roll my eyes with Fortnite, and then totally pulled me back in with Death Stranding 2. Strong start, even if it was a little weird at times. So after the wild opening, Summer Game Fest kept the momentum going, kind of, with a mix of familiar franchises, some weird reveals, and one trailer that straight up made me question reality. First up, Sonic Racing Crossworlds. This one actually had people talking before the show because of all the crossover rumor. And yeah, it turned out to be exactly that. A chaotic kart racer starring Sonic the Hedgehog, but also Ichiban Kasuga from Like a Dragon, Joker from Persona 5, and Steve from Minecraft. Like, what? It's basically Super Smash Kart Bros at this point, and honestly, I kinda dig it. It's got full crossplay, it launches September 25th, and while it's clearly built for pure fun, I'm low-key worried about how it'll actually feel to play. Sonic racing games have been hit or miss, and I'm hoping this doesn't lean too hard into being a meme machine. But still, the trailer was wild, and it gave me that, okay, this is fun energy, which we kinda needed mid-show. Then came a trailer that threw me way off. A flashy hack-and-slash action game with massive combos, floaty animations, and that early 2000s vibe. For a second, I was like, is this Devil May Cry 6? Or some lost PS3 project getting a glow-up? But nah, it was actually Code Vein 2, the sequel to that vampiric Souls-like from a few years back. And honestly, I was confused. Visually, it felt stuck in time. You could see the Unreal Engine touches, shiny particle effects, soft lighting, but the actual animations and models looked like they were ripped out of the PS2, PS3 era. It was kind of charming, in a janky anime way, but yeah, definitely not what I expected to see in 2025. I just sat there thinking, okay, so it's Devil May Cry with vampires who forgot what year it is. Got it. But none of that, and I mean none of that, prepared me for what came next.
You decide who wins and who dies.
Jon Snow on screen in a trailer, and I swear to you, for a solid 20 seconds, I couldn't tell if it was CGI or live action. Kit Harington's face was so well rendered, or maybe it was just him. I still don't know. The entire trailer was one big question mark. It looked like some kind of moody sci-fi project, maybe tied to that Chronicles game they teased later, or maybe something else entirely. Either way, my brain checked out. I just sat there staring like, wait, is this a game? A Netflix show? A tech demo? What is going on? It was a full-on WTF moment, and I kind of loved it for that. Pure gaming chaos. All right, so after Jon Snow melted my brain, Summer Game Fest 2025 dove into what I like to call the mid-show blender. You know, that part of every showcase where the pacing goes completely sideways, jumping from massive sequels to experimental indies to, well, whatever Mind's Eye is trying to be. Let's start with one of the bigger names, Atomic Heart 2. Mundfish came out swinging with a new trailer that looked just as surreal and unhinged as the first game. Twisted androids, alternate history weirdness, shiny chrome environments, and the usual dose of uncomfortably suggestive robot behavior. But you know what stuck out to me more than anything? The copyright music. Bruh. If you're a content creator watching that trailer live, you could literally feel your channel getting demonetized in real time. The soundtrack slapped, sure, but I was already picturing the email from YouTube. Your video has been claimed by 7 different record labels. At least the trailer gave us some flavor. The game looks ambitious, with a living world, more open-ended choices, and heavier story elements. We'll see if they can pull it off, but visually, it's looking slick. Also, shout out to those weird apple pie-looking androids. They haunt me.
We bring in the studio this morning.
Then came a title that actually reignited the show for a second, Arc Raiders. Now, this one's been floating around for a while, but tonight, it finally felt real. The gameplay gave off Helldivers 2 energy in the best way. Squad-based chaos, tons of explosions, fast traversal, and just enough sci-fi jank to make it charming. I immediately thought this might be 2025's version of that breakout co-op shooter we didn't see coming. You could feel the crowd react differently to this one. Like, okay, now we're back in the zone. Then I lost the plot again. Not gonna lie, the next 10 to 15 minutes were a blur. Indie montage, stylized platformer, emotional voiceovers, some heartfelt game about communication and love. I think that was out of words, which, ironically, is how I felt at that point. I zoned out. I may have blinked through 5 reveals. There might have been a game where you play as a raccoon chef or something, who knows? But one name did snap me back into reality. Scott Pilgrim. Yep, Scott Pilgrim EX is a thing. Tribute Games is bringing him back with a new project. And look, I'm not mad about it. The original game was a cult hit, and if this new version captures the same energy, I'm down. But the trailer was kinda light, didn't show much. It felt more like a "we're working on it" teaser than a full-on reveal. So, cool news, but not something that rocked the show. Then the whiplash continued with the first Descendant. This one. Bro, this game looks like it rolled out of Unreal Engine 5's generic sci-fi assets, starter pack, slapped a bunch of anime-inspired skins on top, and said, hey, it's free to play. Except we all know what that means. It's gonna be free to play, but pay to see cleavage and booty. Like the UI literally screams premium currency incoming. It looks fine, but you already know the monetization will be wild. And the cherry on top, it stutters. And then we hit what should have been a highlight, but instead turned into a whole personal rant, Mind's Eye. Now, if you've been following my channel, you already know I've been curious about this one. It's from Build a Rocket Boy, which has former Rockstar talent involved. I wanted to be hyped. I was ready to pre-order this thing. But man, this new trailer just didn't hit. And I gotta be real. After all the behind-the-scenes drama with executives bailing, layoffs, and people whispering about missed milestones, I'm starting to feel like Mind's Eye might be the next big, ambitious flop. Bye. At this point, the devs need to hand out review copies and say, prove us wrong. If they're confident, that's the move. Because right now, the vibes aren't good. I was legit about to buy this day one, but now I'm like, you wanna sell me on this game? Cool. Send me the code. Let me see it for myself. Otherwise, I'm out. And somewhere in this chaos, we also got what looked like a crossover between The Sims, Hitman, and maybe James Bond. But with PS3 graphics, games. Not sure if it was nostalgia or just straight up bad lighting, but man, that one did not help the energy at all. By this point, even Jeff knew people were zoning out. And trust me, I was right there with them. All right, we've reached the final stretch of Summer Game Fest 2025. And man, this is where the show just kinda went off the rails. Let's start with the obvious. Way too much anime. Look, I have nothing against anime games. Some of them are bangers. But holy hell, the last third of this show felt like someone left the Crunchyroll tab open and just started dragging trailers onto the timeline. Stylized JRPGs, overly dramatic voiceovers, giant swords, sparkly spell effects. At a certain point, they all blurred together. I legit started asking myself, is this still SGF or am I in a Genshin Impact ad break? Then came LEGO Voyagers, which Jeff teed up like it was gonna be this heartfelt co-op experience. And yeah, sure, it's cute. It's got spaceship building, friendships, and a Perna vibe. But my reaction was basically, I guess. I mean, no hate. It's probably gonna be a chill game to play with a buddy. But at that point in the show, I needed something a little more explosive, not two LEGO guys hugging in space. Oh, and Chrono Odyssey made a quick appearance too, an MMORPG that's been in dev limbo for a while now. The combat looked decent, but again, sandwiched between all the noise, it didn't leave much of a mark. Then there was this one game. I swear it looked like a high-budget version of A Bug's Life. Tiny characters, big world, lots of crawling and climbing. It was called Infinitesimal, and honestly, kinda neat, but also kinda random. At this point, I was so overstimulated I couldn't tell if I loved it or if I was just hallucinating. Before the final credits roll, we get one last mic drop, and it's not from a game trailer, it's from a developer. The Splitgate 2 guy comes out and just lets it rip.
When we started Splitgate in our dorm room, we just wanted to make a game we could play with our friends, and 20 million of you played with us. Now, with the help from our amazing community, we've built Splitgate 2. Why? Because I grew up playing Halo, and I'm tired of playing the same Call of Duty every year, and I wish we could have Titanfall 3.
I grew up on Halo. I'm tired of Call of Duty BS, and I wish we could have gotten Titanfall 3. That's it. That was the moment. He said the quiet part out loud. He nailed exactly what most gamers are thinking, that modern shooters are bloated, over-designed messes, and we just want fast, fun, honest-to-God movement shooters again. It was the most real moment of the entire showcase, and honestly, it kind of saved the ending. And then, Jeff Keighley closes the show with this cheeky little line. So yeah, those RE9 leaks, pretty real. Very top secret. Haha. Like, bro, you just spent 2 hours not talking about Resident Evil 9 and then casually confirm it at the end like it's a joke? Absolute savage move. But also, respect. He knew exactly what he was doing. But wait.
Yo! Romeo, stay with me! Grandpa, you're gonna die! Romeo, listen up! You're gonna die in about 15 seconds! Seriously? Seriously.
So, after sitting through the full 2 hours of Summer Game Fest and rewatching it with coffee and zero expectation, I still felt like something was missing. Not the games. There were good games in there. But the flow, the energy, the actual showcase part, nah, it was all over the place. That's why I dropped my own edit. A 1 hour, 16-minute showcase with nothing but bangers. No fluff, no stretched out dev interviews, just trailer after trailer after trailer. And the reactions in the comments honestly made it all worth it. My guy TK jumped in like, so many cool games on that list. Phantom Blade looking so good. Yes, bro, that's exactly the vibe. I'm telling you, Phantom Blade Zero is the one game that feels like it actually belongs on the PS5 Pro box art. Then we got into Romeo, that wild-looking sci-fi action game nobody saw coming. TK was like, wasn't sure at first, but after watching it again, I'm pretty much sold. Might be a day one buy. That's what a good trailer does, man. It sells the game without a single reviewer, without a narrator talking about emotional storytelling, just pure gameplay, and suddenly your wallet's twitching. I told him straight up, I didn't watch a single review before buying Spider-Man 2 or God of War Ragnarok. Those were day one buys. No hesitation. Then I joked about MJ's face, and TK instantly clapped back. Buyer's remorse over MJ's face? Nah. Still one of my all-time favorite game, and I told him Spider-Man 2 is my meditation game. I turn off the HUD, mute the radio, and just swing through rainy New York for like 2 hours. That's peace, that's therapy. That's why we buy these damn consoles. And you know what that proves? You don't need 15 indie trailers in a row or surprise mobile ports to make a good showcase. You just need games that look insane. You need momentum. You need to make us feel like we're in the future, not watching an ad for the Epic Games Store.
Women.
If you want to be ahead of all the gaming leaks and news, specifically PlayStation news, time for you to subscribe. And as always, a like on the video is very much appreciated.